Dude, I would not drive 11 hours, even though my wife did the driving, to come straight here. But for you and for what we've been through, I will. And for this community, I will, because it's important.
Hi, I'm Joe.
And I'm Lauren.
And we are
the NeuroNerds. Yes, that was on time.
I feel pretty good about that.
NeuroNerds.
Hey, NeuroNerds, this is Felice, producer of this podcast and partner in crime to your host, Joe. Today's episode is a little different from our past shows. It's a two-part interview with AVM survivor Thomas Mejia, but it's really less of an interview and more of a candid talk between Joe and Thomas, two brain injury survivors reflecting on Thomas's journey. This is our 40th episode and Joe's first interview with a fellow survivor in person, so it's an extra special episode. Plus, Thomas is also our Patreon donation spotlight for December, which Joe will fill you in on at the end of this episode. So, without further ado, here's their talk. We hope it inspires you as much as it inspires us.
So we've been talking with our special NeuroNerd guest, Thomas. What's your last name? I don't even know your last name.
Mejia.
Thomas Mejia, who is family now. So, hey, young man. So what? Nicole's basically my niece, right? Ish. Yeah.
Wait a minute. How did I lose status? Wait a minute. What? No, I'm joking. You can be my uncle. That's cool.
Yeah. See. I'm your very young, attractive uncle.
That's true. You are attractive.
So Thomas is a brain survivor, like the most of us. I'm not gonna say most of us, but a lot of the people that listen to the podcast are brain survivors. Thomas is in our community. He had explain your gnarly injury.
Well, I was skating one day. I got hit by a car. And long story short, I ended up going to the hospital. And I thought I was okay because, it was just I got hit by a car. It was no big deal. I didn't feel like I broke a bone or anything. But, the doctors, I left the hospital because I was like, I'm good, right? And they're like, yeah, you're fine. I said, okay. And then they called me later and they said, we found a curved linear growth, 1/4 of an inch in your brain. And I'm like, wait, come on, dude.
It's not really good to find anything in the brain. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If it's not like the brain itself. It's not
it's not like
a good thing.
It's not like I found a Cheeto in my pocket. Like I can understand how that ended up in there.
We found gold.
Right.
No. It's not going to be good.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, what do we do? He's like, all right, MRI MRI. I was like, all right, cool. He's like, what's your insurance? I was like, I don't have any insurance. Oh. And I asked him how much it was. He said like 10 grand. So I left that alone for 8 years. Jeez. I was a irresponsible kid. Growing up in Brooklyn, I wasn't never taught about like health insurance is important, or like, hey, let's invest this money.
Dude, I'm a grown man. I just found out what urgent care was.
I think you're gonna have to teach me what that is.
Dude, see, like I literally just found this out recently. So like, all right, so I grew up poor.
Yeah.
Super poor.
Okay.
I didn't know what going to a hospital was. So we basically just got sick, and then we would stay sick until we had to go to the emergency room.
Are you dying? You are? Let's go to the hospital.
Exactly.
Right.
And then you do that.
Yeah.
So like it wasn't, I don't feel good, I should go to the doctor. We didn't have that. Like urgent care is right in between an appointment with the doctor with insurance and the emergency room. It's like right in the middle.
Oh, wow. I could have used that a million times.
Right?
Wow.
That's hilarious.
Really? Well, thank you. Hopefully I don't have to go to urgent
No,
care.
really.
So, all right. So I left it alone for about 8 years. And then I got a great job here in California, working in the movies, living the dream. And I got to know some people in the office, always saying good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, all that kind of stuff. And then I got qualified for insurance. I had health insurance for the first time in my life. And I wasted most of it away until the very end. I was like, you know what? I should use this stuff people talk about all the time. So I made an appointment and I explained to the doctor, you know what? Honestly, you tell me what's wrong, doctor. Start from the tippity top of my head and go down to the bottom of my toes, and you tell me what's up with me,
right?
How good or terrible shape I am, and about as far as we got was my brain, so not too far. And he was like, "Oh, you have something in your brain?" I said, "Yeah." Okay, cool. What's going on? How big is it? He's like, "Well, I don't know. I want to take further tests," and it just snowballed really quickly. Mm-hmm. It went from like June to September. I was scheduled to like start they found an AVM, which is an ultravenous malformation in the top hemisphere of or in the left hemisphere, but on the top of my head. I think it said parasitical. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And they said it was too close to my communication center, so they didn't want to do surgery. They tried to do an angiogram to get a stent in there to see if we can bypass and get rid of the issue like that, but it didn't work. And nobody wanted to touch me here in California. They were like, radiation is the best. We'll shrink it down. We'll dump a bunch in there, and we'll try to get rid of it like that. I didn't personally understand how radiation can get rid of something that's not a tumor. I don't believe in chemotherapy anyway, but I guess that could be a whole nother podcast. But that was their idea, and I didn't have any other choice. And so I said, all right, man, here we go with this 12 years of, radiation in my head. And I went to go tell what were my employees. I was getting paid $10,000 to water a plant, man. In Malibu, living
a life.
Living on property in Malibu, just feeling great. I was like, man, I'm really getting union days and getting paid well, and and so I let me see here. Sorry, I've had brain surgeries.
You know what? Everybody talks about the downside of brain injuries.
It's great.
I'm telling you, the upside is I get to make the most disturbing jokes, and people just kind of have to deal with it.
They do,
because it happened to me. I can joke about it. Like I think it's very therapeutic to joke about it.
Yeah, I mean, at least I'm not sitting here making you depressed about my life.
Right, because we lived. I see it like that too. Yeah. Like it's not depressing. No matter what happened to us, we lived.
Yeah, and I'm still here to tell this crazy ass story.
And it's crazy.
All right, so boom, they get in there and they're like, "Man, we can't touch it surgically. We'll give you radiation." So I go tell my ex-bosses this. Hey, this is what's gonna happen to me. And one of the big boys in the back, his name was Lance. And I was talking to Dan. Dan is a good man. He loves me. And Lance, the man in the back, he calls me over. He says, "Hey, Thomas, man, I kind of overheard you talking. My best friend, or like his friend's best friend, is the second best AVM surgeon in the world." I was like, well, if this isn't Providence, I don't know what the fuck it is. So he said, could we look at your scans? I said, of course. So I got those right away. Now I've got doctor on the phone, and he's like, I bet you they said this about it's delicate and this and that. And I said, that's exactly what they said. He starts cursing all doctors, saying how they're incompetent and how they can't do their jobs properly. He said, I can fix you, Thomas.
That's crazy.
The minimal risks, full recovery. And so I said, all right, Mickey Mantle, let's do it. So I canceled all my appointments with the radiation, and I started making plans to go to Boston, which apparently is where you go for brain surgery. And so then they invite my Barbara, one of my best friends. I don't have a lot of friends in life, but Barbara is one of my best friends' mother. She's a lovely woman, and she was kind enough to fly my mother out from New York to spend time in not only L.A., then we went up to Marin and spent time with her at her home, beautiful home, and it was really nice. We got everybody together, and we're all hanging out. Missing my brothers, but for the most part, everything is beautiful. And then the little boy, the 2-year-old, who's my best friend, my best friend's son, he hits me in the head with an empty ice cream container that was made of hard plastic, just in my left head. And I was like, oh, that got me pretty good. I didn't think anything of it. But man, I started having headaches. And I lived with migraines most of my life. I'm always cracking this or popping that, or I tried never to take Advils or aspirins because I wanted to know if I was in pain or not.
Right.
So, but most of my life, I've dealt with headaches. And I'd be like, oh, I've got a headache too. I didn't know what a migraine was. I didn't know that you didn't live with these pains.
Right. That wasn't normal.
Yeah.
It's not normal to feel this amount of pain for this extended period of time.
Yeah, I didn't know. I thought, man, people were like, man, my head hurts. I'm like, me too, man.
Completely different thing.
Yeah, no, completely different. I learned it now. So, from that moment on, I started feeling really bad. Couldn't stay awake for more than a couple of hours. My head was really hurting. The pills, the aspirin, or whatever I would take when I finally gave in, weren't working. Called the doctor. I was like, I don't know what to do, man. He said, well, we're just a few days out. Just get on over here. We'll take a look. So we hop on the Amtrak. And we're making a 4-day trek across. I finally get to Boston. We're running our first test, and the doctor, when we're done, he comes to me and says, he just looks me dead in the eye. And he goes, I don't know how you're talking to me right now. And it took a minute for that to register.
That's insane.
This is my doctor, man. Like one of the top
They're
ones.
paid not to be shook.
Yeah.
And you shook him.
He was like, I don't understand how you're talking to me. Thomas, apparently, since the day you called me, and he's like, when did your pain start? And I told him when the incident, everything happened. And it could not necessarily the boy hit me, my best friend hit me with the ice cream container. It could have been just a matter of circumstance, you know? But I remember after that, my head just started hurting. And he said, you've been hemorrhaging this entire time. So for about 11 days, I'd been hemorrhaging in my left hemisphere. He said that I shouldn't be standing, talking, alive at all. And he said, I can admit you now to the hospital if you want. And we can wait for your surgery date, which was like 4 or 6 days away. Or you can go home. I opted to go home, spend time with my family, of course.
I think most people, I don't know. You know what? I don't know. Because I don't think you and I are like most people. You know what I mean?
I do.
I don't. I was like, oh, most people would absolutely go home. And I'm thinking, no, probably not. Most people would probably be like, yes, do the surgery immediately. You know what I mean? But right when you said you went home, I was like, yeah, of course he did.
Yeah.
Why? Dude, wow.
Because
Why did we think that way?
Well, because, my mother, I love her so much. My brothers were there. I'm missing a brother, God rest his soul. So I got my two only brothers, one of my best friends in the world. My mom and my second mom, my best friend, his wife, his son. I don't want to die in a room with a bunch of strangers.
Right.
I'd rather go home and forgive me, but my doctor said that one of the reasons I'm still alive is because I smoke cannabis. I'd rather go home, smoke a joint, not in front of everybody, not disrespecting anyone.
Right.
But do that and spend some time with the people that I love.
Right.
And my brother's birthday was just 3 days forward. I was gonna miss that, man. So I decided, yeah, let me go home, man. But the problem there was the doctor said, that's the good news. Thomas.
That's going to make your day.
You're a medical miracle. That's the bad news is that not only do you have the AVM that we found, that we know about, but apparently they missed the other AVM in your left hemisphere. You missed the Chiari brain that you have as well. And not to mention you have an aneurysm behind your right eye.
Oh my God.
And he had no preparation for this. He only studied on this one ailment. And then,
but how do they miss?
I don't know.
So much.
He was so upset.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, he was so upset because we were working off of what they had to say. This
Right.
is the first time he took a look. They would have killed me. I would have taken that radiation because I'm already hemorrhaging.
Right.
Oh
my God, I didn't even think about that. Holy shit.
So he's like, you've got all these problems, and I still opted to go home, and I did. And I spent time with my brother for his birthday, and we had a beautiful little dinner, and I just kind of hung in there. Mm-hmm. I'm still bleeding. I'm still bleeding. And I smoked cigarettes. I was a big time cigarette smoker. And let me tell you, for whoever's listening, even if you have had a brain problem or whatever, you just happen to tune in and catch this, and you smoke cigarettes and you feel like you want to quit, but you feel like you can't. I'm here to tell you, and it sounds so stupid and cheesy, but you can. You really can. I never thought I could. I smoked like a smoker, man. I was a smoker. After my first brain surgery, I got out of bed to smoke a cigarette. They wouldn't let me, obviously. We'll get to that, but you can do it. Just from me to you, you can, man. Because I didn't think I could. Now here I stand, over a year not smoking one. But so I go home, spend time with them, and then the time comes for surgery, and I do a 5-hour surgery. And they remove the AVM in my left hemisphere. And now they're going to attack the Chiari brain and the aneurysm and the other AVM on the crown of my head. And so they let me rest. And then the next day they go in, but I had so many complications. It turned into an 18-and-a-half-hour surgery. So it was 24-hour surgery, basically.
Full day.
Yeah, minus half an hour or whatever. But they were able to fix the Chiari brain, but when they were working on the aneurysm, they clipped it. They were able to contain that, and they did a craniotomy, so they removed part of my skull and went in that way. And they removed my eye to help relieve some tension, I believe. They said they popped it out like twice.
That's crazy.
And then apparently everything was good. They pop the eye back in. They're starting to do all the stitching, but the eye starts to twitch and reject. And all of a sudden, my aneurysm burst. So that, bursting, I guess is the term.
I would think so.
Yeah, right. So that burst. And so now they're like, oh, crap, we're losing him on the table. So they try to go into the craniotomy that they had. They can't get into that way. They relieve the tension with popping my eye out. They can't get in that way. So they remove the eye. They clip it off, put it on the table, and say, yeah, we'll be back later, pal.
We'll figure that out.
We'll figure you out later, buddy. And they go in through my ocular cavity, and they were able to shut it down. But, you know, the skull was smashed to pieces, I guess. So they put a titanium plate in there. And they sewed me back up together. But I still have the AVM in my crown. And my eye, you know, is missing a bridge. And so I made it out of that. And now it's been over a year, and I am about I might have another surgery now coming up on December 17th. So to see if I can fix this last AVM, and they can fix my eye. So, I mean, there's so many things in between, man. We can talk about insurance problems. We can talk about, you know, government disability. We can talk about, you know, how people's projection of you, you know, how invisible ailments, you know, like how you should just be kind to people because you don't know what they're going through, you know.
I agree with that wholeheartedly. It's crazy how you think now as an adult or even not just as an adult, as somebody after a tragedy, like how to view things, it shifts everything.
It really does.
But like not a bad way.
In a way that you almost feel alone. It's like the blue guy in, what is that, Watchmen?
Oh, yeah. Dude, I love that.
You know, that's how I feel sometimes. Not that I'm some superhero, but I feel
but
so
like you're just
isolated.
so alone.
Yeah.
Like you're so alone, you know, because I guess it's so foreign now because like, I don't know, I'm 2 years in, you know, so like everything is like beautiful and magical because I've had 2 full years of this.
Yeah.
Being that way is so foreign. I don't know how I used to be. So I think that's why I feel so alienated, you know? I do feel like Dr. Manhattan. I've evolved.
Well, because you're figuring it out on your own too. So it's like when you're listening to a song that you really like, almost for the first time, like, you know, you like the song enough, but you haven't really heard it.
Right.
When you go to hear it, you want the world to just shut up, shut the door, get out of the room. Just give me a moment while I process this and ingest it. And I feel like I had a lot of that to do. One of the biggest things people kept telling me was, don't rush your recovery.
Oh, yeah.
But I did.
Of course you did. I know that because I did the exact same
thing. At least I
thing.
thought I did. At least I thought I tried to rush my recovery, but I couldn't.
Your body will heal when it heals. Yeah. You can't do anything about that. But you can slow it down for sure.
Yeah, you can get in the way.
Yeah.
And slow down the healing process a billion%. That's true. I'm out there trying to, I'm going to reseed the grass, or I'm going to clean this house.
Probably a horrible idea.
Yeah, and it really was.
When I got out of the hospital, I had a cane. And I've said it before, I hated that cane. So I would, quote unquote, I would forget it.
Right.
You know?
I forgot it.
Yeah, oops, my bad. And so I didn't have to have it out in public.
No, you're right. I'll get it next time. You're right.
So the real kicker to me is I was at home by myself early on, just for like a minute, because I was never ever by myself because Felice made sure somebody like was babysitting me. So I was like, all right, I'm just gonna walk. I don't need the cane, and I fell. Dude, I didn't just fall. I fell horribly. Like, I fancy myself a pretty decent athlete. I looked so awkward and uncomfortable. I just fell back and I landed on a thing and I hit my back, and I just realized right then and there, I was like, oh, that's why I need that cane.
You know what? I should have a cane.
If I had that cane, it was weird. It was a very, very strange thing. But
yeah, and when you hurt yourself, when people are telling you use this or do this, and you mess up and you hurt yourself, you hear it all come back to you.
You know what I was? I was the kid from A Christmas Story.
Yeah.
I shot my eye out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was like, no, I'm not going to shoot my eye out. Obviously, yes, I did.
I shot my, what was his name? If I can remember. Don't worry, I've had brain surgery. I don't remember.
Feel the exact. You know, the perfect description was a friend of mine just like years ago. Did you ever see Indiana Jones?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't count the very last one. Forgive me, Shia LaBeouf or LeBeau, or however you say your name. And it's in South America. I should love that movie, man.
No, that movie's terrible.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I love you, Harrison.
He's great.
Yeah.
That movie was hot trash.
He could have sat and just watched the movie, and they could have put his name on. I'm like, he was great in that movie.
I would actually prefer to watch him sitting watching the movie than watch the movie.
I would watch him read the newspaper.
He's awesome. I love that. He's so cranky.
And that is something I love about him.
Yeah, he's so cranky.
Why not?
That's what, that's true.
If you can do cranky that good,
if you're happy enough to be cranky, I'm good with that.
Right.
I try not to be cranky anymore, but emotionally, post this, it gets crazy.
Yeah, you have a hard day, and it's hard to have a hard day. Like for me, it's hard to let myself have a hard day. Because when I get sad about whatever billion reasons I might have, or if I think back on, or if I think forward about what I'm about to, like I get overwhelmed sometimes. And if I have a bad day or I'm having one, I can't let myself do it. I'm like, Thomas, you went through all these brain surgery, this and that. You're not allowed to have. You're alive, Thomas.
Right.
You should be thankful. You should be grateful. How are you sad right now? And so I get mixed up there sometimes, but I've been learning. My old man, not my biological, but my old man and my mother. I was having a rough time, man. Panic attacks and stuff, and that's with the Keppra side effects too.
Yeah.
Plus,
Drugs are great, aren't they?
Aren't they fun?
Legal drugs, aren't they amazing?
Yeah. Nah, that's not even. I mean,
that's another cast.
Right? How much time do we have? So my mom and the old man, she tells me something that really helps. She said, "Let God's will be done." And I was like, "All right, that's a powerful statement, Thomas. If you really think about that." And I was like, and it resonated with me. But then the old man said something to me because he's getting up there in age and he's got some health complications himself, so he's probably no stranger to the thought pattern that I've been in. And he says to me, quite frankly, everybody dies. Stop being a fucking pussy.
Hey, that's wow. That's straight and to the point.
And
that's a kicker, though, man. Like that's
what got me through my hard times? My mom saying what she said, and then hear him say that again. I was like, you know what? You're right. Everybody does die. How are you gonna die though? Right. I don't want to cling to life, And I think that's what I've been trying to learn how to do is just
beautiful. Let
that will be done. If you're religious and this and that or whatever, but just kind of. I don't know. I am a spiritual person. I believe in intelligence design. We're getting into another crazy conversation, but it's for me. It's been therapeutic knowing that what you're right, man. Everybody does die. Right. How are you gonna die? What are you gonna do with your life?
What are you gonna do from here until then?
Yeah. Who are you gonna make smile? Who are you gonna make laugh? How can you help someone have an easier day or a better life by just being kind or listening or whatever you can do.
Right.
And I guess that's what helps me get by more than anything. I get lost in my thoughts, man.
Yeah. Okay. So that's what was really crazy for me with like meditation. So I meditate every day now. It's not like, I meditate for hours. I'm like a Buddhist monk. I meditate 10 minutes a day at least, first thing in the morning. It kind of sets my day. Before the stroke, I couldn't meditate for a minute. My mind would go like so dark. Like I was super depressed and I was super, I don't know. I had a dark way of thinking, again, recovering Catholic. So, I didn't like that. Now post stroke, I don't really want to do that anymore. So like when I get lost in thoughts, I just get lost in how can I stay here? Cause I don't want to go there. Yeah. That'll drive me a little crazy too,
For me, it's like I get so deep into the thought that I feel like almost I don't know. It could be just me feeling a seizure coming on. Or maybe it is a trigger to a seizure. I don't know if that's possible.
I think it's your body. Like if you're feeling a certain thing, only you know if that's like doing, you know what I mean? And that's hard to say, but like, or hard to explain. But as a person who had like migraines, when one's coming on. It's a difference between like a little twinge or a little bit of discomfort. When like a specific type of migraine is coming on. So
you just don't know how hard it's coming.
Right. I think your body is doing the same thing. Like your body, there's something not right. You know what I mean? We got to listen to our bodies.
Yeah.
And not pretend that like weird things, it's just normal.
Oh, so that reminds me of so when I got released, they didn't really, I don't want to blame anybody. People have a hard day. Nobody's perfect. But they didn't really explain to me or the people who walked out with me my drugs. And apparently I wasn't supposed to be taking two of these drugs together. And I was instructed to do so. So I had spent like maybe a week to 10 days taking these drugs together, which stop your heart. Together, that's what they do.
Right.
Like, you know,
like they're not supposed to
tequila
go
and
together.
ice make a good time. These two stop your heart. And I kept feeling off. And like you were saying, you listen to your body. So I started listening to my body, and I kept feeling off. I was vomiting in the shower. I'm in a warm shower in a warm hotel, and I'm throwing up. Like I'm just going through it, like withdrawal. And I'm like, and I felt like I was ODing. Tell my now wife, you know, I don't feel right. Tell my brother, I don't feel right. I'm not taking these drugs anymore. Something is wrong. My brother's, you know, you're not a doctor.
Right.
You
Because
know? You can't blame him.
Right. He's afraid.
Right.
You know, he doesn't understand what you're physically going through. All he knows is these drugs are keeping you alive.
Yeah. Take your drugs, Thomas, because that's what the doctor said. And so I'm like, all right, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to stop. Call my doctor, but I'm not taking another one of these pills until he says it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
And they did. And my doctor said, okay, wait, what is he taking? And they read out what I was taking. And he just completely flipped out. He said that stops his heart in 5 days. How did he know to stop? Who told him to stop taking his medication? They said, Thomas, just stop taking. He said he refused to take it. He said, well, he saved his own life.
That's crazy. That's just... So it blows my
so
mind.
Scary. It makes me want to cry because, like, damn, man, what if I didn't trust, like you're saying, what if I didn't listen to my body, man?
What's great, there's so many people out there that don't listen to their bodies. You know what I mean?
Dude, the doctors,
we're lucky.
Doctors didn't kill Andy Warhol, man. The nurses did, dude.
Right? It's so you have to look at it as, all right, there's, I don't know. I think everything happens for a reason.
Right.
You feel that?
Yep,
Like
100%.
that happened for a reason, you know? I lived for a reason. Not really 100% sure what.
Yeah, totally. I've been figuring that one out.
You know what I mean? But I think that's why we're here. We're here to figure that out, you know? And some people figure it out a little bit faster than others, I guess, you know? I do know what we're not here for. To be stressed, to be angry, to be upset, to be, I don't know, be dicks. I don't want to be a dick.
Hey, that is the perfect word. It's true.
You know,
don't
like,
be a dick, dude. Really don't.
The moral of life, I just figured it out. Just don't be a dick.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
just be nice to your fellow man. Be nice to yourself. I think if people were kinder to themselves, they'd probably be kinder to other people.
I had a friend of mine, good friend of mine, you know, and she asked me one day, she goes, we haven't seen each other in years, but we communicate. You know, she's always surfing somewhere in the world. And she asked me, Thomas, you know, after everything you've been through, what kind of advice do you have? What would you say you learned? And it really made me stop for a second. And I thought, be kind.
That's beautiful.
That was truly that's what I've come to understand, to be kind. Because we can be assholes, man.
It's easy.
We are
That's easy.
good at insulting people. I'm a fucking champion insulter. I can break you down emotionally with just words, but to brighten your day up, to help you change your mind state, to cheer you up, to make you laugh, is a harder thing to do. Comedy is much harder than drama. Anybody can be like, oh, my mom died. Feel for me. Empathy, sympathy,
right,
all day. But to make somebody laugh, to make somebody feel good, I think is a harder job. And I like difficulties. So
yeah,
I take that on.
It's so I also hold grudges. It's like bad.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and you know, I try not to, man. But
so
I do
now,
too.
but now that's the thing. Now it's different, where it's like, why am I putting energy into like feeling angry? So like, do I be more forgiving? I'm kind of in the middle of that.
It's hard because some people will take and take and take and take. And
right.
You give them all the kindness and space in the world, and they'll keep taking it. And it really tests your patience. Sometimes you need to separate yourself.
Yeah, so like boundaries are amazing.
Yeah.
Never had those before.
Right?
I suggest them to everybody.
Yeah. If
So
you can
like,
pick one up today, I would recommend it. I heard they're on sale.
So like putting up boundaries is great because it's like, all right, cool. Like I love you and I'll do anything and everything for you. But like now this is as far as we can go with that. You have to respect that. Oh, if you can't respect that, okay, cool. Well, I did what I could.
I'm here. I'm here for you.
Yeah.
Whenever you're ready.
Well, all that
you need to bring yourself here.
You need to figure it out to get here.
Yeah.
You know,
I'm here. I will always be here for you.
I can't go back.
I'm not.
Like I'm just moving forward, you know, and I don't want to leave you there, but like I can't stay there. You know what I mean?
I'm dealing with somebody there's an issue, and it's an alcohol issue,
Mhm.
and this person is a lovely person. I don't know them so well, but I know them to be pretty lovely when I've met them.
Right.
And they're with a friend of mine, and it's just like they have no control, and they have the access to everything in the world. You can fly anywhere you want, buy anything you want. You know, you've got somebody who works hard, and everything, all the amenities are there for you.
Right.
But it's not enough. That bottle is more important than all of it.
That's addiction, man.
Right. And it's like they have no self-control over that. And it's hard and sad to see, but there's nothing that he or anyone else can do for that person until they decide to get to this level where we can go, hey, welcome to the room. Let me help you.
That's the perfect description. Like I feel that like in my bones. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I understand that now. I never understood that before.
It's because you want to. I can fix this.
Yeah,
I can.
I don't know.
Fix
I
this.
can do it. I can do more. I can like.
They just need a little more love, and you know what? It's true. They do.
But until
you can do that for yourself, you're just dragging everything else down with
right.
you.
Like I can want the best for and I do. Like again, I'm a helper by nature. I say it all the time. But some people don't want your help. So you're not helping them and you're not helping you. So what are you really doing?
Wasting the most
time.
precious thing in the world.
Dude,
is time.
It really is. And I was spending so much of it trying to help people who just didn't want my help or who just didn't want help or didn't know how to accept help. So I can't do anything with that until they figure that shit out.
Yeah.
Because like I'm not helping them grow and I'm not growing myself. I'm just stuck. I'm stagnant.
Yeah, because you want to, your intentions are there. And so you're like, I know you need help. I'm looking right at you, man. I know you need it. I don't know. I guess you're a pastrami sandwich. They don't like pastrami, but they're hungry.
Right. I need food.
I don't know what to do for you, buddy. I'm a pastrami sandwich. You want a Reuben? You're gonna have to wait or come over. They got Reubens over here. Let me show you.
Right.
It's some people. You're right. Some people.
So now people are playing catch up with us. It's weird that like I don't know. Some people say like we fell behind because we've been injured. It shifted everything in our lives. I think we're miles ahead of other people.
I feel liberated in a dangerous way though. Like I walk into a room and I was very confident before, and it's just turned into an entirely different animal now. I walk into the room and nothing intimidates me.
Well, it can't.
It
really.
can't really.
You know what? But
what are you gonna do? Kill me? Oh,
been there. So, but that's with everything. That's what everybody should kind of feel this way. But they don't.
Exactly. Well,
you know what I mean,
dude? We're looking at the world.
I had an amazing question asked to me from the Stroke of Genius guys. They're the two documentary filmmakers for like survivors, and they're like family. I can't wait to introduce you to them because they're amazing dudes.
I am so excited.
And I think they would absolutely love your story.
Meeting you and meeting potentially anybody you're willing to introduce me to, because what you're doing is very important.
Well, I think so. I mean, again, like number one, us survivors, we got to stick together.
And
period.
I felt alone, dude. I've never felt more. You kept saying, we were talking earlier when we were first getting to know each other, and you kept saying our community.
Oh yeah,
and we, including me, into this conversation, and I can't explain how it feels.
It's even weird to me because like I didn't want to like force you into that.
Oh man,
you know what I'm saying?
You included me into something that like.
Because I could be like, oh, dude.
I rightfully belong to it, actually.
Yeah.
Like, it's a beautiful thing you're doing. Like, I'm almost crying because thank you, bro.
Oh, dude. I appreciate you. I really do. Because I know how difficult it is to, like, share this.
If they didn't take my eye out, brother, I'd be crying all over you. Right?
I appreciate you. But, like, that's what's beautiful about, like, and I mean this, our community. So, the shit that we went through, literally almost dying, we say, I say we because I think we can joke about it.
Yeah.
Like we say it in jest because, hey, we made it. Why not laugh? Laughing feels so much better than crying.
It does.
Even though crying in the moment, it's like, oh, this is the best thing in the world. It's almost addicting.
Now, forgive me because I'm a child of the 80s and I have got nothing to hide. I've learned a few things on acid. Not that I've done it so often, but I'll tell you one thing. sobbing, crying, and hysterically laughing are exactly the same thing.
Really?
If there was a doctor you could talk to, if there was somebody, I bet you they would tell you that it's touching the same places in the brain. That when you hysterically laugh and you sob, cry, it's exactly the same. It's interchangeable.
That's crazy.
But it's like the two faces in the theater, the smiling and the crying. There's no drama without comedy.
That's
no
true.
Comedy
like how do you know you feel good unless you felt bad?
Yeah.
You know, like it's that the yin and yang of life. Dude, I think we're allowed to, you know, joke about this because we can.
Yeah, and we're here to do. And like you said, there's nothing better than humor. You know, it's okay to really feel the emotions in life because, like we just said, one is nothing without the other. But I would rather, I don't know, because I don't know if I want to be hysterically laughing all the time either. I don't want to be a fool.
Right. It's a
this
balance.
beautiful. It is this beautiful life that I cannot figure.
We're cooking.
Yeah,
you know? Like we're all ingredients. Like not too much pepper.
Yeah,
not too much salt. Like we just got to figure it out.
Yeah,
you know, it's a delicate balance. You know, and I think I'm working on it, just like the rest of us.
Yeah.
What's funny is so the Stroke of Genius dudes, one of them asked, he's the part of the duo that didn't have a brain injury. You know, he's so like that's an awesome perspective.
Yeah, because people were like, man, you've been through so much, Thomas, etc. And the third, no, my wife, my mother, my loved ones, I had to go to sleep.
Right.
I did a bunch of
deal with it.
They gave me a bunch of drugs, knocked me out,
right.
And I fell asleep and woke up and was like, oh crap, I'm alive. They had to watch me do it. So that perspective is just so important too.
It's
the people
crazy.
who support people that have been through what we've been through, they deserve.
I think everybody's
so
fundamentally changed by it. You know,
how could
because
you
like
not be?
even the people. Well, for me, it's weird. I have some people who are like, yes, I'm right there with you. Life is short. Like, let's be better. Let's do better. And then I have some other people who just aren't really there.
Some people,
and that's unfortunate, you know. But
it becomes real clear who's who.
Oh, it's weird. So you lose friends.
You do.
You know?
You don't lose them. But you just see them.
You see people who for what they are, but you also gain like not just friends, like true family.
Yeah, it's
true.
Know,
and that's what's been beautiful for me. You know,
same here. I people who showed up to my important surgeries or like that day or who showed face up until that day and have shown face are family to me now.
That's
they really are. Ryan and Jana and little Bobby, Barbara, Robert, that whole side of the they're not related to me, but they are family. My wife, well, now she's related to me because she's my wife, but but they're saying that too. She's also now my wife. It's like I wouldn't change it for the world.
Right.
And it sounds weird because I liked my life, but I feel like we were talking. I feel so free,
dude.
Now
emotionally, like we're I think free for the most part. It's still we're all works in progress, you know.
Yeah.
But it's a better work in progress, you know. Like that's
it's like we got a cheat sheet. That's how I feel.
That's not bad. I like that. We figured out some shit. We're somewhere. We got someplace quicker than some other people.
Yeah, it's kind of like you guys can muddle over that stuff. It's so unimportant to me.
Yeah. So Liam, the non-stroke,
right.
So what he said is, why do you think it takes almost dying to get you like kind of true? Like, why does it take a tragedy for you to feel this way? Like this, I'm invincible. Like all that other stuff doesn't matter. Like, why does it take almost dying for you to realize that? I can't really speak on it because I did almost die. But like it fascinates me, all the stuff that I was afraid of before. I don't know how you feel about that.
I feel I've gotten more fear in some places of my life because I've lost control of a lot of aspects of my life. My independence has kind of been taken from me because my eye doesn't work so well, and so I can't drive a car. I live in California and Los Angeles, where it's like,
dude, driving is kind of a necessity.
And I live in the desert too, man. I'm not gonna hop on public transportation to go somewhere, brother. Not with my ailments and stuff. I can't just seizure on the street. I'm not, so my independence has been kind of taken from me. So it's hard. Some things are difficult to deal with for sure. So it's not like I was given. It's a gift. It is a gift. My mind is all over the place.
Oh, dude, I'm the exact I think all of us are. It's again this weird balance, this weird yin and yang of everything that's going on. It's like, yes, I am the most happy I've been given life again. And there is nothing more important or more beautiful than that. But I'm still depressed about this other stuff over here. And I still have these fears and I still have this. Yeah, but why am I focusing on that? I have this miracle of life given back to me. But like, it's that weird balance. Like sometimes
I guess it's doubt will get you.
You know,
Ego
like,
will get
sometimes
you.
it's
Vanity will get you.
Life is beautiful and it's precious. And like, I'm living the second, like I get a second chance at it. And like, so nothing could ever upset me. It's not true though.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like fighting depression. I'm fighting, well, what if, and what it's this weird like dance that like I'm doing mentally.
But I guess I agree with you 1,000,000,000% when you say that. I still deal with that.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like the thing that's changed is what I'm willing to share with other people is more definitely on the positive side of things, on the positive outlook. I'll deal with my demons a little more quietly by myself more often than maybe I would have before. I might make a big deal about, oh man, I'm so upset, and I'll huff and puff around the house because I didn't get this job or they screwed me in my overtime or whatever it may have been.
Mm-hmm.
But nowadays I don't like. You know, my wife was driving today. Somebody was looking at her, some just person, and she got really mad because they're like, cut her off or this and that, and they got really into it. And she's all, and I'm telling her, hey, just let it go, man. Because no matter what you're gonna do, you're never gonna change that person's mind. They're gonna be gone before you know it. But I'm also not upset with her because I know that you're right. It gets you mad. You're allowed to be mad, feel that, but don't let it overtake you.
Right.
You know. And so when you're talking about you still feel that, I'm there with you too. But I feel like when I talk to other people, I try to show the positive me.
Right.
Because I have so much positivity. And to answer your question or to give my perspective on that question of why can we only appreciate life so much when we've come close to death, I think it's because you realize that there is nothing you can do once you die. Once you're dead, there's nobody you can apologize to anymore. There's nothing you can take back. You can't do better. You can't change. You can't learn. It's done. You're done. That's it. You finished the book. It's kaput. And I guess from my own perspective, I don't want, like I was saying, I don't want to cling to life. I want to freely let it go and know that I did my best. Now, I didn't do the best.
Right.
I did my best. And be comfortable and happy with that. And try to just, man.
I love that saying. I don't want to cling to life because it really explains what we're doing right now. We're not like holding on to it. We're living.
Yes.
Because that's just what we're doing.
It's
the
reason.
reason.
Of being, I want life. No, I am life right now.
Right. It's the reason why you decided to not stay in the hospital and get a procedure done. You decided to go hang out with your friends and family. Living life. You're going to take that. That's happiness to me, what you did. I know that sounds weird. I don't know if a lot of people agree with that.
But it was, though.
But like, you know what I mean? Like, it just made sense.
We laughed. I hugged my mother, like I had dinners. Like, I'll cry if I think about that day. Because I was able to do something. I was able to set my mother to the side. Man, we and this is just my own personal perspective, but we think we say it enough. But I was able to sit down with my mom and explain to her how much I love her.
Right.
I had a chance to do that still. And to me, that meant everything.
That's beautiful. What more can you ask for?
Yeah.
Well, plenty more you can ask for.
Right. There's a lot of nice stuff out there, but at the same time, it's really not so important to me.
Right.
Because it falls into your lap if it's supposed to.
Mm-hmm. If it's meant to be, it shall come to be.
Yeah.
Like I'm a firm believer in that.
Yeah.
And I also believe that we can kind of shape our realities. You know what I mean?
I think so too. Definitely you can. You just got to be really nice at being faithful enough to believe that, to manifest that. You can't half-ass the thought.
Hey, the mind is an incredible thing.
It truly is.
You know what I mean? There's something beautiful about energy, and like we can really create these beautiful things. Like I created like a really horrible existence for myself pre-stroke.
Mm-hmm.
Like I would almost like manifest negativity. Like, you know what I mean? Like I would get stuck in these negative vortexes where like of course the phone was ringing, some horrible thing is going to happen. Mm-hmm. So what happened? I answered the phone, some horrible thing
happened.
Oh man, of course I'm going to get like the flu horribly. Oh, I get the flu. I'm sick. Like I think I need to go to the hospital. I don't know why, but like that's just where my brain was. But now on the flip side, post-stroke, it's like, of course things are going to work out. You know what I mean? Like
I've made it this far. Do you understand what I've gone through?
Right.
I didn't.
Of course. Like what? None of that stuff mattered. No, there was no reason for me to be in that mindset because that mindset was like, God, it was draining. It was exhausting. It was I was so tired of just being. I don't know if that makes any sense. Like it was so draining to feel that way day in.
It's because we were focusing on the wrong thing. I completely agree with you. I know what you mean. I'm drained. Oh my God, life is so frustrating.
If I told you we had to talk about like how the process of making crackers for like our entire life, that's it. We can't talk about anything except that process. You would be dying to talk about something else. Yeah. And anything that wasn't that would be like, oh my God, it just feels so good to talk about. I was so tired of thinking and speaking and being this way. I was so tired of talking about crackers. So like any time now that I think back, I'm like, oh my God, that's horrible. That's terrible. Why would I ever do that? Because it feels so good and it's so healthy and happy and beautiful to feel and think this way now. You know, I never ever want to go back to that.
Maybe, but I find a lot of the things that I had done before, I feel like there are no accidents and coincidences, etc. Mm-hmm. So I used to have really long hair.
You didn't have long hair. You had beautiful, magnificent hair. I saw some pictures. I was like, oh man, you need to be on a cover of a novel.
It was lovely. But I also had a thing about shaving my head. In my youth, you know, we all get emoed out and I'm depressed in my life and yes. That girl and this thing. And so I found one of the things that I could control were my appearance. And so I'd shave my head from luscious locks with a Bic razor against the grain.
You were just smacking the hair gods in the face.
I was. I know it was, but I think also made it grow more lush. But that's we'll never know.
Right. You heard that, kids. You should go out there and shave your head.
Well, so I learned how to shave my head. I was quite proficient at it. Mm-hmm. You know, really good. Going against the grain, I get it done in a timely fashion. What's funny now is that I find myself shaving my head a lot now out of necessity. Mm-hmm. I'm really good at it.
Okay. So shaving my head?
No. What I'm saying is, you never know what you're preparing yourself for in your past.
Wow, that's really bugged out.
Doing presently. So maybe you going through all those places that you went to in those thoughts, you exhausted all those thoughts so that you could enjoy yourself now.
I love that, and I love that. Period. I'm making that like that's what it is. That's so beautiful. And again, we can manifest anything with our minds. So that's now that's great.
Like, what if it was just a way to prepare yourself for what we're about to undergo?
That's so quantum realm conversation. That's so House on Hill House on Haunted Hill, Haunting at Hill House, where they're like met the I don't know. It's a Netflix show, a horror thing.
Oh, I definitely missed it then.
So the chick is basically
so much television.
Chick's like haunting herself. Really weird.
Oh, amazing! I want to watch it. Netflix.
Yes.
Nice. Oh my God. I miss watching TV, but
well, it's gonna come.
It's coming.
It'll come.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, again, we talked about acceptance before.
Because I didn't watch it so much for so long because of my eye, I didn't really miss it so much.
Same here. Because I guess I was in a hospital. I don't really remember any of it. So like the big chunks that I missed, I'm like, it's not that big of a deal. There's a lot of things now that just aren't as big of a deal.
It's not.
You know?
Marvel movie used to come out. I'm like, oh man, the Marvel movie.
Oh man.
Now it comes out. I'm like, oh man, it came out.
I'm still that dude, but it's not as
Don't
much.
Get me wrong.
Like, I like to think that I am.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't even seen Solo yet.
Me neither. But that's only because everybody, you know, I apologize to the Star Wars god. Oh, and I'm friends with one of the actors that's in the films and stuff. I won't throw him under the bus. But
oh shit.
That's my dude though. What's up, Ahmed? But he's doing a podcast too. He's talking about his whole Star Wars experience as Jar Jar. Ahmed Best. He's a fantastic actor.
That's awesome.
Choreographer. He's
you can only do so well with what you're given,
dude. He is the most attractive man I've ever met in my life.
Have you seen you?
Have you? You should have seen me with my locks.
I did.
But I don't even know why we're talking about Star Wars.
Because
Because we
have
haven't
to.
seen. You're right. You're right. So I don't want to speak badly. I haven't seen Solo, so I'm not gonna put my 2 cents in.
Yeah, but I just it's crazy for me because I was born in '77, the same year Star Wars came out. So I've been a fan since birth.
That's my brother.
Literally. You know what I mean? But I haven't seen Solo.
Yeah, it's weird, right?
It's strange. It was. I would probably. Yeah, I probably would camp. I never did, but I probably would camp to see like a Star Wars movie.
Yeah.
And there was one that was out in theaters based on one of my favorite characters. I just didn't see it.
Dude, you can rent it right now for like $4.99, and I still haven't done
There's
it.
just like there's other stuff going on.
Yeah.
You know, like
there's more important things. Like I find myself not watching a lot of film.
Yeah.
I catch some.
I-
Like
I
I've
do
seen
the best
Ant-Man
I can.
and the Wasp. I've seen
it's getting better for
Yeah.
me. You know what I mean? Like,
And I'm
it's-
kind of saving it too, because hopefully, let's say I make it out of this next brain surgery. You know,
not say you will, obviously.
well, I'll make
We're
it
making
out of
that
it.
happen. We're
You know.
speaking it into existence right now.
You're right, brother. I'm gonna
You know?
smash. The doctor's gonna smash it. He's gonna do a great job, and I'm gonna get this eye back, and I'm gonna get my hair back.
Yeah. Basically, all you have to do is just like lay there.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I'm gonna do my best to just lay as still as
Yeah,
possible.
that's it. In laying there, you're gonna do phenomenal. I know the doctor's gonna
I've
have
gotten
to-
really good at it, dude. I
Hey,
can lay
even
down
if
and
you
sleep in an MRI machine and not move a muscle for
Even-
like an hour.
Even if you have like a bad lay down, it's fine. The doctor's gonna be on his game. You're gonna be good.
He's on it. Yeah. Even if I lay down and he'll tweak it. Yeah, he should have put his leg this way, but you know.
See, I think humor is huge for recovery.
It
you know?
is. I'll share with you. So, and forgive me. I curse a lot. Forgive me. I've had brain surgery. I love that. I should get a shirt that says that.
Oh my God, that's actually really good.
Right.
I like
Forgive
that.
me. I've had brain surgery. It's classic. You hear that, honey? You should get me that shirt.
So that was part 1 of my interview with Thomas Mejia. And as always, the NeuroNerds, we are here to help. I'd like to give a big shout out to Avid for sponsoring our podcast. We really appreciate the support. Also want to give a big shout out to all of our patrons on Patreon. We really appreciate the support. We could not do this show without you guys. And as part of our new Patreon donation spotlight, for the rest of November, we're supporting survivor Maggie Whittam's crowdfunding campaign for her documentary about her stroke recovery journey, The Great Now What. Then in December, we're supporting today's guest, Thomas Mejia's GoFundMe, to help with his 4th craniotomy surgery. So please sign up to subscribe at patreon.com/theneuronerds to not only support us, but also to support causes like this every month. And as always, the NeuroNerds, we are here to help. Follow me, Joso Rocks, at everywhere. Follow Lauren at Lauren L. Manzano at most places. Follow us at the NeuroNerds everywhere. And on that note, NeuroNerds out.